everybody, welcome to my channel. If it's not your first time watching, welcome back. Today we're talking about traveling. I know that the world is low-key, like, I don't know, maybe shutting down again, but I don't care if I am driving to my hometown and walking around in a bathing suit at my mama's house. I gotta get out the house sometimes. So I actually had someone recommend that I do some like kind of travel content for you guys, since apparently I be traveling a lot. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about traveling. I figured the first video, the best way to start off some of my travel content is with my traveling tips, especially budget-friendly tips. I am very spending conscious, cheap, if you will. So I just want to give you guys, I don't know, maybe like 10 of my top tips for traveling, especially if you are looking to travel on a budget. So if you're interested in learning that, stay tuned. Okay, so first, we are traveling in a couple weeks. I'll let you guys know where later because I will be doing a vlog. And I started to get ready for the trip and I was like, you know, this might be some helpful tips that I think are really easy and like my common practices for traveling. But for some people, you know, especially apps and things like that that I use, it might not be as popular. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. I want to start off first by saying I am the itinerary friend. I am spreadsheets with dates, hotel information, tentative events, dress code for such events, links to things that may be included. Now, we don't have to like on a calendar, like at 9 a.m. do this, 10 p.m. do this kind of thing, but I just like to have a general idea, even if it's just going on Instagram. Love that they have now like the collection where you can literally bookmark posts. I would just start bookmarking like restaurants that I see. I'll look up like ATL nightlife or Savannah nightlife, whatever the city is, and just like save to my collections just to kind of start getting an idea of like places we want to go. So when we get there, we're not wasting like 30 minutes trying to find the good Mexican restaurant because I've kind of already looked into that. So pre-organization is like a pre-tip. Like I that's just me. If you are not that person, well, maybe you don't need to plan the trip. You know, maybe you just need to entrust it to somebody else. I look on YouTube for videos and everything. So research is always one of my tips. My next tip is when buying your tickets, I like to personally buy them 6 to 8 weeks out. I don't like to buy too far in advance, but I don't like to buy too close either. Starting to look about 6 to 8 weeks out will give you an idea of the flight prices, and also it allows you to purchase the tickets, and you can use an app like I mentioned Capital a million times, but you can use an app like Capital to start saving money for your other stuff. But I feel like that kind of helps you create your budget for the trip, because typically if you're flying, a lot of time flights are going to be the most expensive thing. And I know that like Frontier and Spirit, I know they can be a little tempting. And when I tell y'all, them $60 round trip Spirit flights to Miami used to have a chokehold on me. But in some cases, it's important to look at other airlines too, because you have people like Delta and Southwest where you can probably take your bags for free versus Spirit will nickel and dime you. So sometimes I've looked where in a Spirit flight seems cheaper at first. By the time I check a bag, do this, do that, I actually end up spending more than if I just went with something like a Southwest or a United or a Delta. So also note for that, just for the flights. I just wanted to give y'all the tips for the flights. Now, this is a big one for me. Depending on your airline, take advantage of their baggage rules. So for Southwest, I feel like Southwest just lets you bring on however many bags, whatever you want. Delta, you get your carry-on, you get your personal, and you get your carry-on, you get your personal. Now, I finesse this because you have your carry-on, okay, which is like, put it here. I don't feel like going to get all my luggage and stuff. Put it here. You have your carry-on, okay? Then you have your personal item, which they say can be a purse. Don't use a purse. Use a book bag. In this book bag, I put all my cosmetics, or like I like to put all my stuff together, but I take a pretty big book bag and I use that as my personal item, which is low-key the same amount of storage as a carry-on. So now you got 2 carry-ons disguised as separate items. And then for your purse, so you can stuff your handbag, use like a fanny pack or a crossbody or something that's attached to you, because I found they don't really recognize that as like another item. Now, if you got a big old purse and a book bag and a carry-on, yes, they might grab you at the gate. But that's how I go about kind of finessing the bag rules. And if you have something like a Spirit, then you definitely want to get pretty creative with using a carry-on, which I know can be really tricky sometimes. I say there's a lot of methods you can use. Rolling stuff up is a good one, but there's something else that I recommend too, especially if you are going somewhere where it's going to be cold or you need to pack coats or something like that. Okay, I know you're gonna be like, you're doing a lot. Vacuum bags. Okay, so you can vacuum bag like coats or whatever at home. So this big old bag, you can get like 1 or 2 coats in there. You can vacuum seal it at home with your vacuum. If you were doing an Airbnb, which I typically have, they typically have vacuums there so you can reseal it when you leave. Or the ones that I bought off Amazon came with a hand pump. Because I've had the problem when you're going on trips, you're like, I got all these coats and all these boots and all these things, like this stuff cannot fit. But vacuum sealing your stuff, even if it's not cold, is sometimes really helpful. For me, when I travel in the summertime, it's like some biker shorts and some bandeau top, so it's pretty small. But vacuum bags can definitely help you if you're trying to consolidate your stuff into your luggage. Also, when you're trying to consolidate your stuff, especially, again, a lot of this stuff is really helpful in the winter, but anytime, wear your biggest shoes. So like for me, when we're going on our trip, I will probably take like 1 pair of like Jordans, like higher, bigger sneakers, and then a couple pairs of sandals. Suggest wearing the bigger shoes or the boots, like the boots or the sneakers. That way they don't take up extra space in your bag. Especially helpful for men, because Aramis, when he packs boots, they're big old size 13 boots. So he wears his boots so that everything else can be a little bit small in the bag and you don't take up all your space trying to pack those up. Always note that. I just got my little notes because I'm like, when I pack or when I travel, it's a lot. I use the notes in my phone. I make a packing list, like all that. So I got this stuff already in here listed. When you pack your bags, I know it can be really tempting sometimes to like get the cute little mini sizes or the travel sizes. If you're traveling on a budget, I know it can be tempting sometimes to get like the little mini sizes or the travel sizes or to stock up with those. Do not get those, especially if you are trying to travel on a budget. You can do 1 or 2 things. Number 1, I go to Dollar Tree and just get my own little jars and fill it with my own product from home. Because like this is my conditioner that I use when I have curly hair. A mini travel size bottle of the product is only half the price, and it's literally like 1/4 of the product. So it's like $6 for the conditioner when the whole big old tub I have is like $9. So I just do this, and then you can fly back with it. You can still use it at home versus just buying the travel one because it seems more convenient. Even with edge control, like I just put my little edge control in something. Like, don't just rush out and splurge on the travel stuff because it seems easier, because a lot of times they're ripping you off and they know you're ripping you off. Now this one, the next kind of tip I have might be a little controversial. I think now, I've honestly never had an issue with this, and I've done this on flights for years. So, 3.5 ounces is your liquid that you can take on. I take mini bottles to the airport. So I take my own mini bottles. Once you get to your terminal, if you want to just get a ginger ale somewhere, you can make a drink. Or when you're on the plane, if you just want to get the juice and make your own drink on the plane, I honestly have never had an issue. I feel like the only time people have an issue is when you like drunk on the plane. But if you just get a little ginger ale and just discreetly pour your little, whiskey or whatever in there, I don't think it'll be an issue. And that's how I save a lot, because even if you don't drink it on the plane, because you're not supposed to drink it on the plane for some flights, if you're in a terminal, sometimes those drinks are like $15, $18. You have your own mini bottle. You can have the alcohol you like, ask for a cranberry, ginger ale, whatever you like, and then you can make your own drink, and that will save you a lot. Honestly, even when you get to where you're going, your Airbnb or your hotel, I like to buy my alcohol when I get there, like just to have, so I don't feel like I have to leave the room or have to go to a restaurant or have to go to the hotel bar to have a drink, because you can eat and drink up your vacation budget, and for me, that's the worst thing. Which brings me to my next thing. So like I said, I prefer Airbnbs, but that's because I know people are saying now Airbnbs are getting more costly. That's because I utilize the Airbnb to my benefit. So like I said, buy your alcohol, buy your stuff. I do a little mini grocery shop when I get to my Airbnb, because if nothing else, I suggest buying breakfast food, even if it's a carton of eggs and like you're packing a turkey bacon, because eating out 3 meals a day every day is going to take your budget out. If you are on a budget, it's going to take you out. Even if you just get some little lunch meat and some cheese, just like some snacks, especially if you're with a group of people. Because for me, I'm usually one that's like, I have to eat breakfast. And sometimes people don't care, or I'm hungry before other people and I need a snack. And I'm like, I'm hungry, no one else is hungry, so just get some little snacks. That's the good thing about having a full kitchen, having a refrigerator. Like, you can really use that to your advantage and honestly save a lot of money. Some nights I'm like, I'm gonna just make some spaghetti and then we'll call it a day, because you just run around so much you don't have time to do like a formal, full-blown dinner. So that's why I really prefer Airbnbs. Now, the next app, I know I mentioned Capital. This next app, when I tell y'all, this is not sponsored at all, but if you're like me, when you travel, you want to start the day when the day starts. And I hate all this checking in at 3, 4 o'clock. Like, the day is gone. I want to get there. I want first flight out. Put me on the red eye. I want to land at 7 a.m. Like, that's me. There's an app called Bounce. Okay? Regular spelled Bounce. I will put a little picture here. With the app Bounce, you can go to one of their designated locations. Usually in major cities, there's multiple. Like, you can literally just choose what's closest to your hotel or your Airbnb. You check your bags. I think depending on your location, it's like $6. But you can check your bags for either the business hours or up to 24 hours. So, for instance, when we travel later this month, we land at 8 a.m. We can't check in until 4 p.m. We found a location for Bounce that is near our Airbnb. We are going to check our bags when we land, and then we can start our day. Then when you're ready, you can go pick your bags back up and go to your Airbnb and check in. But that way you're not lugging suitcases around to the restaurant. You're not walking around with all your bags. It's so convenient because I am a, number 1, cheapest flight, number 2, earliest flight. So not having to check your bag at a restaurant. If you're staying in a hotel, a lot of times they'll let you leave it at the front desk. But even then, that can be a hassle too. Just going to somewhere inconvenient, somewhere central, dropping your bag and going about the day. And I know a lot of people don't know about this app. So I'm very excited about that. I know, there's Uber. I'm personally an Uber person because I don't want the responsibility of driving. But you can use apps like Turo, where they'll literally deliver the car to you at your airport, and then you can drive it around. And it's a little bit different than like a formal enterprise or things like that. It's a little bit more like a temporary rental kind of thing. So Turo is something I don't personally use a lot, but I know it can be helpful if you are traveling. I think that is already 9 tips. I want to think, because I know I talked about the Airbnb, which also another tip. When I say utilize it, I mean utilize it. I even utilize a washing machine. That can help you a lot of times to pack less stuff. For me, when I travel, a lot of times it's like black biker shorts, crop tops. If you can pack only 1 or 2 biker shorts and just wash them on your trip because you were staying for 3 or 4 days or whatever, and just wash them, that can minimize you having to pack literally a different pair of pants, 3 pairs of pants each day for a 4-day trip. Now you got 12 pairs of pants versus just getting a couple and being able to wash them. Really, I feel like all that just goes back into planning ahead. If you know where you're going, if you know what you're eating, you know what you need to wear. You know where the closest CVS is. So when you guys get there, you can do your little mini grocery shop or do your little shopping trip. All those things. You know that you're not going to have time to eat on this day because you have a big event planned that day. So you're going to have to cook. It just helps so much. And even with the flights, you can use apps like Skip Lags or Hopper to kind of put alerts on. I personally just like using something like a Google Flights just to kind of keep track of it and just kind of watch the trends, which is another reason you really got to start planning ahead so you can know what you're getting into. I think that covers it. I'm definitely going to do some more hands-on travel videos as we get closer to the trip. And like I said, a travel vlog. If you have any questions about traveling, I'll be honest, we have probably started traveling more and more. We always love to travel. We took a little break for the wedding, but now we've been traveling more because we just really enjoy it. And I feel like traveling for us is honestly like a big pillar of our relationship. It's something we look forward to. We enjoy doing it. So no matter how we got to do it, we've been road tripping a lot lately. No matter how we have to do it, shut down or not, we're going to travel, but doing it financially smart helps so that when you come back from the trip, you're not wiped out financially, especially because I think now airlines are doing low-key, you could do Klarna or Quad or split up into payments. And I know that Airbnb is doing pay half now, pay half later. So look into things, research things, ask me any questions you have, ask me any specific travel videos you're interested in because I'm happy to do that. How I pack my makeup, how I pack all that kind of stuff, how I film on vacation, all that kind of stuff. I'm happy to share that with you guys. So thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.